Raider Nation, you're not gonna believe what I'm about to say. Tyree Wilson is finally starting to look like a first-round pick. Yeah, the same Tyree everybody called a bust last year. He's out there wrecking camp, moving faster, playing with swagger. Add that to rookie Ashton Jeanty lowering his shoulder like he's the second coming of beast mode. And now we've got some serious whispers about Hendrickson in silver and black. Yes, all this is happening in Raiders camp, and I am here to break it down for you. What's up, Raiders fans? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Raiders. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the Raiders. Let's start with Tyree Wilson, because his story is the most Raider thing ever, drafted 7th overall, already hurt with a busted foot, couldn't train, couldn't build confidence. And what did the Josh McDaniels regime do? They shoved him out there anyway. You remember what that looked like? He was laid off the snap, had no bend, no counter move. He looked stiff and lost. The fans saw it, the media saw it, and the bust label got slapped on him before he had a chance. And once you've got that label, it sticks. Wilson went into year 2 hearing it every single week. He didn't get a sack until week 8. From there, he got 5 down the stretch, which, hey, isn't bad. But it wasn't enough to change the narrative. Fans didn't care about a late-season mini-surge. They wanted instant results, and once Raider Nation decides you're a bust, man, it's hard to crawl out of that hole. But here's where this gets interesting. Wilson didn't crawl into a corner and pout. He put in the work. He linked up with Max Crosby. And Crosby isn't just some hype man. He's the hardest worker on the team, maybe in the league. Wilson said himself they've been grinding together since OTAs. Working hand placement, working 6 technique reps, working leverage. Crosby doesn't let you coast, and Wilson bought in. Now, in year 3, you can see the difference. He's finally playing fast. He's using those vines for arms to control tackles instead of just flailing around. He's moving inside on passing downs, collapsing the pocket, then bouncing outside to win with length. He even said it himself. The game has slowed down. He's playing on instinct, not thinking so much. That's huge. And you can see the confidence, too. The dude walked up to the podium with a smile, answered questions with swagger, like he finally believes in himself, and that's half the battle. Pass rushing is a mindset. If you don't believe you can win the rep, you won't. Wilson believes now. Now, don't twist my words. He's not Von Miller or Derek Thomas, but he doesn't have to be. All he has to do is be disruptive enough to take some heat off Crosby. For 2 years, Crosby has carried this defense on his back. Double teams, chips, entire protection sliding his way, and he still eats. But imagine if Wilson finally forces teams to play it straight. Suddenly, Crosby isn't seeing 2 blockers every snap. Suddenly, quarterbacks don't have that easy step-up lane because Wilson is pushing inside. That changes the math for this defense. And look, Raider Nation, I know we've been burned by camp hype before, but this doesn't feel like hype. It feels like progress. It feels like Wilson is actually turning into a real player. And if he does, that's like adding another star to the defense without spending a single pick. Now, let's talk offense. Because Pete Carroll didn't come to Vegas to dink and dunk. He came here to make this team physical. And the centerpiece of that is rookie running back Ashton Jeanty. Carroll has always built his best teams around a punishing run game. Remember Seattle with Marshawn Lynch? They called him Beast Mode for a reason. He set the tone, not just for the offense, but for the whole team. And Carroll wants that same vibe in Vegas. That's why he took Jeanty 6th overall. We saw the flashes at Boise State. Vision, burst, wiggle, long speed. But what everyone wanted to know was, can he bring the physicality against NFL defenders? Can he break tackles, drag linebackers, run angry like Beast Mode used to? First preseason game against Seattle? Nah. 3 carries, nowhere to run. Couldn't get going. Some of Raider Nation, impatient as always, already started throwing bust talk around after 1 preseason game. Typical. But then came the Niners, and that's when Jeanty showed why he was drafted that high. He catches a pass, lowers his shoulder, and bounces a linebacker off him. He stiff arms a corner to the dirt like it's Pop Warner. Then he fights through 2 defenders at the goal line for a touchdown. That's not a fluke. That's who he is. That's beast mode energy. And here's the thing. Jeanty isn't just a power back. He's a complete back. He can protect the quarterback. He can catch out of the backfield, out of the slot, even line up wide. He can change direction in a phone booth, then accelerate to top gear in a blink. That's why Chip Kelly is so excited. Kelly used LaShawn McCoy to terrorize defenses in Philly. Now he's got Jeanty, who can do even more because he brings the physicality too. The kid even talked about it himself. He said he takes pride in versatility. He takes pride in pass protection. He takes pride in setting defenders up like it's chess, knowing where guys are going to be, then making them miss or running through them. That's not normal rookie talk. That's a guy who's mature beyond his years. And now, yeah, he's got to be smart. No need to take unnecessary hits in August. Pick your battles. He said it himself. Be physical with DBS, shake linebackers. That's how you survive in the league. But when the real games come, Raider Nation, this dude is going to be a tone setter. He's going to fire up the sideline, fire up the defense, and fire up the crowd. That's what this team has been missing. So we've got Wilson stepping up on defense, Jeanty bringing juice on offense, and then we've got the rumor mill, Trey Hendrickson. Now, this one has Raider Nation buzzing. Depending on who you believe, the Raiders are either front runners to land him or just another team being used for leverage. Hondo Carpenter put the odds at about 15%. Not great, not impossible. He also said if it happens, it'll happen before week 2, which means the Raiders would have to act fast. But Q Myers, he's not buying it. He says this is just the Raiders being linked to every star like always. And honestly, he's not wrong. We've seen this movie before. Raiders connected to Micah Parsons, connected to every big name, and then nothing happens. But then you've got Lincoln Kennedy saying, go get him. And honestly, imagine it. Crosby on one edge, Hendrickson on the other, and Wilson rotating in. That's a nightmare for offensive lines. That's the kind of front that can actually close out games instead of blowing leads in the fourth quarter. So what's the holdup? The price. The Bengals aren't giving him away. At first, they wanted a first-round pick. Now the ask is supposedly a pick, plus a young defender. That's steep. On top of that, Hendrickson wants more guaranteed money. So you're not just trading for him. You're also committing to a new deal. That's a big swing. Here's my take. Hendrickson makes too much sense. He's proven. He's consistent. He'd instantly take pressure off Crosby and give this defense legitimacy. If the Raiders pull it off, fantastic. But if they don't, I'm not panicking. Because for once, it looks like this team actually has pieces developing in-house. And that's the bigger story here. Raider Nation. It's not just about chasing the next big name. It's about finally seeing young guys grow. Tyree Wilson finding his confidence. Ashton Jeanty showing he can set the tone. That's what matters more than a splashy trade. And it ties back to Pete Carroll's culture. Always compete. That's the mantra. It's not just about outdueling the guy across from you. It's about outdueling yourself. Day after day. Wilson said it. Jeanty said it. That's the mindset shift. For too long, the Raiders have been a team chasing shortcuts. Quick fixes. Big headlines. But now, it finally feels like there's a foundation. Young players developing, a coach building an identity, a team leaning back into toughness. That's classic Raiders football, and raw, physical, unapologetic. So, buckle up, Raider Nation. Because this season, we're going to find out real quick if these guys are for real.